Good evening, or whatever time it is you are watching. Welcome to the Community Team Cup. Here we go. We are in for the big one today. RTR against AHR. Both teams still being undefeated with a 3-0 record coming into match day 4 it is. And it should be a good one. We will see two exciting combinations today. So we will see the Radical at Kyoto Yamagiwa and the Jaguar F-Type Group 4 at Dragon Trail Seaside. So we have changed the running order. We will go with the Radical race at Yamagiwa first, and then go to Dragon Trail Seaside, that's chicane, and running that Jag in it. So this is the plan for today. Drivers are currently joining the lobby. So that looks good. So next up on the menu, the starting lineups for you, for us, for everyone. So you see a stacked lineup as usual, CTC, and with both teams bringing a very, very strong lineup to this matchup. He should be very, very evenly matched as well, like a 89 versus 90 overall score for CTC ratings. So should be a good one, I think. So where we are standing at the moment, CTC. So after match day 3, this is the current situation. You see RTR sitting on top of the leaderboard, followed by AHR, both with 3 wins. P3 we currently have ORT also with 3 wins. And Sports Race Asylum sitting at P4 at the moment, would be making it into the final 4 towards the end of the season, but it's still a long way to go for that. Just so we'll see some racing action shortly in the background. Yeah, you see the top 4, and then ART, Emerald, ZFS, TCR, CLR, and Race Asylum on the rest on the leaderboard so far after 3 match days. Didn't want to show that. Just to give you a quick reminder what we are doing here. Team versus team, 6 versus 6 on track. We have 10 teams in total, 9 match days with the final 4 towards the end of the year. We have 2 30-minute races per match day. It's a 1 make for every race, so every driver is in the same car. As usual, points are awarded per driver and then will be added up for the teams. Obviously, the team with the most points wins the match day. Could be a tie as well. So we have the rules as always. Every team, they pick 1 race combination, like the car, the track, and the weather. Car and tracks will be selected from a pool that the teams have submitted before the start of the season. Tire wear and fuel consumption is set fixed times 6 and times 4, and the limited sets of tire as usual for each driver: 2 softs, 2 mediums, 1 hards, 2 intermediates, and 1 heavy wets. That is. So, going to check the lobby settings. And then we should be ready to roll very soon. All good? Oh, nice one. So let's let us know. So good track. Have a look at the cars and the replays. Not the replays, the liveries, I want to say. So we have the AHR livery. I think let's go to the chase cam and have a look. Black, white and gold as usual on the AHR combination. Then we'll have a look at RTR, Raw Talent Racing, white, purple, blue and black today for this one. And yeah, fun combination. This radical at Kyoto Driving Park. We had this combination last round and it was an amazing race to spectate, to commentate on. It was ART against MRL. What a race it was. So I'm hoping for some close racing action as usual during CTC, and with those two teams, I have no doubt that we will see some close, intense racing action throughout. So yeah, it's very tough to say, at least for me, today, who will be victorious in the end. So both teams showing some really strong performances in the first 3 match days. And they're both sitting on top, of course, of the leaderboards. So should be a close one. We have, I think, with Dan, Jack, 2 of the top-rated drivers from AHR in the current season, and we also have Littles and Valkyrie and P7 at the moment, Chris. So the very quick RTR drivers with us. And according to the lineups, yeah, we also have James with us today. So we all know James, like a very fast, pretty fast driver as usual. So we will now have the 5-minute qualifying warm-up going on. So we'll get an idea about the Lap times we are attacking. Oh, we also hear the horns. Radical as a horn? Really? Oh no. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. Oh, here we go. So yeah, as stated, so we have 5 minutes of warm-up for the qualifying session. Then we have the qualifying session itself. It will be a 10-minute session. And as usual, we have it separated into 5-minute segments for each team. So for this one, we will have AHR heading out first, and then followed by RTR. And for the second qualifying, it will be roles reversed, of course, but we will come into that, of course, when we have finished with the first race. It is so. That's about the venue. So we are at Japan, at Kyoto. That's an actual area in Japan, but the racetrack is fictional. It was introduced with the GT Sport as a kind of original track from Polyphony Digital, and as a couple of layouts. So we are using the standard layout today, the Yamagiwa one, and this section we were looking at the moment is probably the tricky one. Like, you're going downhill into the chicane, so the car gets loose, the rear gets loose, braking into the chicane, accelerating uphill again. In this light radical car, could be interesting. Also the chicane, like if you get it wrong, you might risk spinning it over the curbs, and also if you cut it too much, you might risk getting a penalty. So that's the difficulties for this track and these combinations. But yeah, the Radical is probably one of the most fun cars to drive, at least from my experience. The annoying thing is you still have to do this double shift. You just saw DJ doing it, like going from 4th to 6th. So skip a shift at some point to really excel in those cars. And the bad thing is, at least for me, the double shift doesn't work all the time, unfortunately. So you end up being like shifting, oh, you missed it, and then you're not really gaining at all. But just check in with my settings. Everything is okay. And we should be ready to go to start the qualifying session now. Here we go. So Slide Rules is our hobby host for today, so he's in charge of starting the races and all the good stuff. So just here to entertain you and act like as a race director and commentator, of course. So here we go. Team AHR, Apex Hunter Racing, on track now, starting their outlap. So we have Dan leading. We have James, Jack, Kieran, Bob, and DJ. The 6 AHR drivers for you today. And I don't know, Sonic. Jaeger curse, never heard of that. I don't think that's an actual thing, but nah. I will try to do my best to not curse anyone because we want to see some great racing. As usual. So, getting closer towards the end of the outlap, and this could only mean one thing. We are going on board. Coming through the final chicane also with those curbs. Tricky, you want to keep it straight over it, and now final turn, taking a wide entry probably to get a good run, and here we go. Do we see the double shift as well from there? No, he missed the double shift. See, 5th gear, 6th gear immediately, so this is the risk of not getting it like done, and you will probably lose more time with that, but if it works, it helps. Definitely. So, through the uphill as we go, should be flat out, taking the inside curbs all the time now. The sweeping left-hander, the car will get loose, a little bit probably on entry, but then you could carry, yeah, you can carry quite some speed. Didn't use all of the exit curb on the outside, so there's still room for improvement. Now the car is getting light, downhill, braking coming when the curb appears. And now this was a very smooth run through that chicane. Uphill we go again. The kink right flat, braking at the end of that yellows painting on the track, and now get a nice run out of the final sheet. The hairpin into slow Mr. Jaeger through that chicane we go. My brain wants to go faster than my tongue can actually do. And into the final turn we go, the long 180-degree, and then accelerating over the line. The double shift worked this time, a 140. James was a bit quicker, 40.1. Jack also a bit quicker than then. DJ in P4 for now. Bob in P5, and there's Kieran P6 at the moment with the second flying lap now. So we are having a look at James. There's a little bit of slip maybe here as well coming through the left hand. There we go, using that exit curb, carrying some good momentum. Will we see an improvement? We do, up a little bit on the purple, before keeping it steady through the chicane on that grass a little bit, but not sure if it was quicker. And around they come, heading into the final sector now. We see the delta appearing. Oh, he's up on the time. And I need to be prepared. Right. And James around the final turn. Could be a slight improvement. Will he break into the 39s? Just a 39.8. It is. Alright, so that's... But Dan, look at that. Dan, a 39.7 was even quicker than James. Check in P3, Kieran P4. Close gaps between DJ P5 and Bob P6. So now it's RTR. It's turn to see if they can top those quali times. So we have Tempo, Littles, Brisbane, Chris, Italia, and Valkyrie. The top six drivers for RTR today. And Tempo struggling a little bit. So it looks like RTR drivers are creating a little bit of space now for their qualifying run. And here we go, preparing now for their first flying lap. It's Brisbane leading, and for the second part we established we do a chase cam lap for all of you chase cam drivers, pet players, whatever. So target time 1:39.777 to get pole position. And let's see, heading into the first long sweeping left-hander, slides the car a little bit. Can't bring it completely towards the apex. So in some of the cars you should hug that inside apex for the first turn to drag you around. But this looks like a good run. We'll see the first. No, I think we have the spectate mode thing where we don't see a delta appearing on the first lap, so we just go with the visuals. A good run through that chicane. Now for the hairpin crucial corner to get it right for the exit, so keeping a very tight line. Third gear without any lifting or so. Now to the chicane, downshift third, upshift fourth, and now into the final turn we go. Good exit. Oh, we have to wait until Brisbane crosses the line. 39.40. That's P5 for now. Tempo P6. Where are the other RTR drivers? Chris in P10, Italia P11 for now. So little update. So Littles jumped to P3, Valkyrie P4, so we have AHR 1, 2, RTR 3, 4 at the moment, but look at those gaps, there's basically nothing in between those drivers at the moment. So it's the second flying lap now for the RTR drivers. Can someone grab that pole position and those 3 points? So top 3 in qualifying will get some extra points. Pole position 3, P2 2, P3 1 point. And this was a good run for Littles, but now he's too close behind his teammate. Okay, teammate getting out of the way. Can Littles keep that pace? He is purple 2/10 for now. Coming round the final time through the final turn. Needs to have a good run. And we'll see 6, 7, 8, 9. Didn't improve. Oh, that final turn. Someone else on a quick lap. Valkyrie improved up to before. It's getting even closer between those drivers. Brisbane is done. Tempo is done. Italia is done with the qualifying also. It's Chris. So that's qualifying down. We have Dan and James. 1, 2 for AHR. Littles P3. Valkyrie P4. At the moment. Jack in P5. Kieran P6. Brisbane 7, Tempo 8, Italia 9, DJ in P10, Chris P11, and Bob in P12 for now. So we wait for a couple of seconds to let the timer finish, and I will then update. Okay, results for you. All right, so the updating all the results. Bring up those for you then. I'm prepared. Look at that crazy stuff going. So Dan, James, Littles P3, Valkyrie P4, Jack P5, Kieran P6, thing 7, so in 8th, and second party of Italia 9, J 10th, 11th, and Bob 12th. All right. So and when everyone ticks in, we should be ready to roll. James, yeah, also like crazy close. 1 to 5th. Here we go. So, and oh, look at that! I see James on the mediums already. Hey, you can go. Doing the grid. All right. Just to give us all a little bit of a breather for the race then. And James, Little's Valkyrie, Jack Kieran, Brisbane, Tempo, Talia Prohawk, Chris, Bob. Yeah, that's correct. Tiles, gloves, wheel, come on! Alright, but here we go. 30 minutes for race number 1, Radicals at Kyoto Yamagiwa. Race will begin shortly, as stated, and bring on the action now. Fuel and tires to you as well. Full service as usual. And here we go, 12 drivers on the grid. We are waiting for the red lights. Here they come. 3, 4, 5. We hear the engines revving. And go, go, go! The 3 lights. We are off for the first race. Dan with a good start. Keeping his lead in front of James. And it's Valkyrie and Little side by side. Valkyrie up in position check. And Kieran, the teammates, also side by side through the first turn. They go. They should be fighting themselves through the first S's. Side by side will be tricky, as always. So pressure already building between. A little drift into the turn. Tempo kept that position. And someone on the grass early, so many cars here. And into the chicane they go for the first time. A little bit of slide for Trohawk, I think it was, but Italia with a penalty. Chris up to P10, Brisbane in 11th, and Bob P12 at the front. We have Dan leading, sorry, but James under pressure. 2 RTR drivers. Valkyrie looking down the inside. James has to give room. They go side by side through the chicane. James keeps the position. Valkyrie trying to find a way. Not possible at the moment. But look at that. The close gaps we had during qualifying. They carry over into the race here. 3 RTR drivers now right behind James and Valkyrie with the run. But James has the inside line for the first left-hander, so will force Valkyrie a long way around. Is it possible? Though I don't think so. We'll see. James should still have the advantage. Valkyrie still there, hanging there. We go to the chase cam. Let's see. Watch Little's perspective. Uphill, so James still keeping that position and holding off the RTR drivers. Now Valkyrie looking down the inside with the run. Oh, there was a little tap. Kieran tapped Littles, but they managed to keep it on track. We'll see how close this racing is. Kieran up with the run on Littles. They go side by side into the chicane, and can they hold it? They can. Oh, Kieran nearly lost it. There was a little bit of contact happening. In the end, Littles gained a little bit from that tap, but nothing he could avoid. In the meantime, we have Valkyrie. Getting past James and up to P2. Now James behind. Close, nearly contact. And Valkyrie's off, using the grass. Should give James again the run. Valkyrie with dirty tires manages to keep the gap. So Dan, in the meantime, has a 2-second lead already. Valkyrie in P2. This time he's having that inside line. For turn 1 we go. James now looking around his side. No, going for the cutback line, but Valkyrie hooking up that inside line, not giving Any room for James again with the massive run. They go side by side through the edges, and James is through. Look at that move. What a move. Nice setup to go with the chase cam. So he had that overspeed, that run. And then he could carry the momentum and just make that move stick before and they're still side by side in the side. You can't take your eyes away from that battle, that is for sure. And now we have James, Valkyrie and Littles again side by side. They go through the chicane. And this time Valkyrie with the run, but you also have Jack and Prog now right in the mix for that battle. But it's so close between everyone in this race. We hadn't had a chance to really look at those tires, but I think everyone is basically running on softs. I can see, but this is intense, close racing. Tempo is 7th, Italia P8. Oh, look at that. Oh, Jack, James down to P4 now. Jack up to P3. I don't know, it says softs for me, but sometimes it is glitched, so could be that James is running on the mediums actually. Never trust the overlays entirely, but looking at the pace, yeah, he was probably doing a really good team effort there to give Dan the massive lead already. So we don't take for granted what we see with the tires. Now let's put it that way. And this someone was on the grass. It was probably Prog. Will they get dirty tires from that check? Defending from Littles in P5, Prog, P6 Prog with that penalty. 0.6, and there was not sure what happened. Italia, I think, was off track briefly. Let's see if we can catch that. Yeah, he was off track and then had to slow down, lost momentum, but no harm, no foul for now. Chris in 11th, and also Bob is still within striking distance, to put it that way. So that gap is coming down. Oh, look at that, James smoking. What's he been doing? There was crazy tire smoke happening. So yeah, I was just saying Valkyrie with the fastest lap of the race, 40.5 at the moment, closing that gap on there. Then under 3 seconds it is James in P3, check now P4, tempo up to P5 ahead of his teammate Little GP in P6. Then we have two AHR drivers, Prohawk and Kieran, P7, P8, Brisbane and Italia with the run after this little mistake through the chicane. Bit surprised that they are actually fighting this position, but not sure who feels quicker, who feels more confident in those radicals at the moment. So yeah, looks like Italia has the run. Oh, he cuts the chicane again. This is not helping. Chris in P11 and Bob now lost it. 8 seconds the gap, so could probably be a lonely race for Bob's your uncle. And Valkyrie 1.5. Oh, he's gaining massively now. Oh, Dan, look at that. Dan with a 141. Consistently the 141s, but Valkyrie is flying 40.5. And gain probably another second this lap on the leader. Let's have a look when he crosses that line. 40.5, yeah, basically the same as his fastest lap of the race. Oh, and Jack versus tempo. Jack defending the inside line. Tempo with the slide around the outside. Is it possible? I don't know, not yet. But maybe Tempo now with the run uphill. Go has some slipstream, has some momentum, some speed. Jack is defending the inside line. Tempo looking around the outside. It's committed. They go side by side through the long sweeping turn. Tempo is still there, but Jack manages to keep that position for now. Now he's going defensive early for that chicane. Going back to the racing line. A smooth line through the chicane, but Tempo is right behind Jack now, putting in some massive pressure. Again, Jack going defensive. You see Little's perspective. Oh! Still Jack, so it is keeping that P4 at the moment, drifting a little bit through the chicane. Can they keep it on track? Yes, they can, all three of them. Who has the better run out of the final turn? So Little's going for a tighter line through the final turn that nearly runs off his teammate. Not sure about that one. Here we go with the run. Keeps that narrow line, nearly hooking up that inside curve perfectly. Gets a good run. Doesn't use the double shift though. Had to shift up to 6th gear now before the uphill part. Still has to run on Jack. Could make a move around the outside, maybe. You see? No, not quite. Come on, camera. Jack defending that position again. Trying to cover that inside line, but here's Little's trying to find that gap. Doesn't have the run though. Has to back out of it. This brings DJ back into the mix as well in P7. Kieran in P8, Brisbane P9, so also close gaps in the mid-pack and towards the end of this grid. So far, Chris 1.5 and Bob with the 10-second gap early on. So we are 11 minutes and 30 seconds in, and Valkyrie has caught up. He gained 2 seconds over the last 3 laps and is right behind Dan now. Dan, who had a great head start into this race, but now Valkyrie is with him. Also James is still there in striking distance. Then the first little gap to this fighting group. Jack, so it is for AHR, Little's GP for RTR, Tempo for RTR, and DJ Drawhook for AHR in that fierce battle for P4 at the moment. Again, Little's looks like he has a good run coming up the S's. Forcing Jack narrow this time, no. Yes, he does. Can Jack keep that position again for another lap? Can he just pass that line through the long turn? Then again, can he hold off two RTR drivers? DJ Draw with the move against Tempo, but it cuts over the chicane and uses a little bit of grass. We will watch that again from the replay. See, takes the wider entry, then goes over the line, and I think Tempo couldn't avoid the contact. There was a bit unlucky. The first impression. There's also Brisbane in Italia now. So Valkyrie first went to James. It definitely stayed softs now for me, but maybe we get an updated tire info after the pit stop. We will see. So Dan in the lead, Jack in P2, DJ also running Italia, Chris Valkyrie on softs. James, it says softs for me again. Bob's still running on the first set of tires. Little's out on track, Tempo, Brisbane, and Kieran as well on that outlap. So I expect Dan and Jack heading into the pits now as well. I think this lap we get all a little breather now. You can see and sort ourselves where we at. Because oh boy, it was intense racing for those first 15 minutes. Yeah, Davo, it's a short pit loss at Yamagiwa usually. So now Dan probably heading into the pits. Yes, he does. Check. So it is. Will follow, I'd assume. In they go. DJ also into the pits. Italia doing the same, and Chris running the mediums. Okay, so he's one of the medium runners. Is he going for a no stopper? So we yeah, as I mentioned, we had this race last week between MRL and ART, and we had also like no stop versus a one stopper, and it was crazy close towards the end. So both strategies can work. Will be interesting to see. And look at that, Dan and Valkyrie. Now, this is probably the battle for T1. Both seem to be running on the softs and catching Chris, who is running the mediums, with a potential no stopper. James in P4. Well, nearly messed up that chicane, so have a look at Valkyrie. Might have the run on that. Dan is still on that inside line. Is there room on the outside? Yes, there is. Where is Dan? Valkyrie with a great exit out of that hairpin. Getting the best out of that radical on acceleration. Nearly jumping through the chicane and staying in P2, and that gap to Chris is coming down just 2 seconds. It is double shift. Trying to break the toe, then not fussing really about that double shift, or not sure it didn't work, so it was really early upshift to 6th gear again. And they all both can see Chris there, not too far in front. So we will stay with Dan for that uphill SS part. Look at the momentum he's gaining. So Valkyrie defending the inside line early. Will we see side by side through the long left-hander again? Valkyrie really tight on that apex, but then loses the car and wants to defend that inside. I think he still has his nose in front. Just. Now Dan with the run again. Through the kink we go. Valkyrie can define the inside line again. And it's 1.5 to Chris. Chris still leading this race on mediums versus fresh soft tire runners. Valkyrie and Chris so close. A big drift. James now lost a little bit of contact to 0.3 seconds to Dan Littles. MP5 might be closing that gap to James. We'll see. Check in P6 for AHR. DJ in P7 ahead of his teammate Kieran, which are then followed by Brisbane and Italia. The run on to the start-finish straight, and as usual we have the no bump drafting rule applied for CTC. Now Italia looking to get his nose in for the long first left-hander. He did it. I think he did, but they're still side by side. Kieran is still there. They have to leave each, give each other room, leave each other room. Not sure, there was there a little bit of contact happening? Initially probably, which caused Kieran to understeer a little bit onto the grass. Kieran is down to P11 and now Bob's in P12 to the front, where both have overtaken Chris in P3. Valkyrie taking the lead, and the fastest lap of the race so far goes to Little's GP for the RTR team. So Valkyrie leading this one. Dan is still with them though. Through the final turn we go. Chris seems to be like a sitting duck for now. Here comes James with the run. 0.2. It will be close, really close, heading into the first turn, and we are under 10 minutes. Let's see. Chris defending it as good as he can. Staying in front for now, but James now with the run uphill. He should have more grip with those soft tires, especially for the long sweeping corners, and James looking to make that move around the outside. Chris cannot defend it this time, has to give up that position for now. So James on to P3, the podium position. Chris in P4, Littles in P5. Check with a gap, then Drohawk, and then Italia, Kieran, and Tempo. So again, 2, 3 wide into the chicane. No, this is not working, guys. This is too much, I think. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We'll get out the long replay. And maybe see Tempo's perspective. Tempo with a big dive. And then caused a little bit of carnage there. Optimistic move, I'd say. Nope, we don't want to go to the replay, we want to go back to the live racing action where we have Dan versus Valkyrie for the lead, and also James is back with them under 1 second. They have side by side action through the chicane. Now it's getting feisty a little bit. And here comes James with the run through the chicane we go. What a move. Ooh, where did James come from? That was insane. Look at that, he carried so much momentum and then had that inside line and just made it. And we still have 5 cars battling for P1 at the moment, with Chris being the one riding the medium tires, Littles on softs in P4, Valkyrie on softs versus Dan, and James is up into the lead with that move. Valkyrie has the position for now, so this will be a wild setup for the last 6 minutes. Look at this. 4 cars battling for P1. And then on the one hand he needs to stay with Valkyrie, attack Valkyrie, and then also has to defend from Little's GP. Little's GP with the run under 2/10 the gap. 2 then now, and looking for the move into the first turn we go. Little's with that inside line, but we saw you can use a wider line and focus on the exit. We'll see if Dan gets the run after the upper part. Yeah, he does. He is really close behind now. Is there a way past? Oh, what happened to Dan? What happened to Dan? Oh, he lost it over the curb. The curb unsettled his car. Very unlucky. But then... So then out of that fight for the victory, very, very unlucky. So we have 3 cars now battling for the overall win. It's James leading at the moment, Valkyrie, and Little's P2, P3. Little's with the move on his teammate, look at that. Not showing any brotherly love here. Little's probably has the feeling he is quicker than Valkyrie, so Little's has the fastest lap of the race with a 40.3, so maybe he's feeling now in the zone, popped up. So 4 minutes 20 seconds to go. James still leading this one. Little's in P2, Valkyrie P3. Then we have Chris on those mediums trying to defend that P4, but here comes Jack. So it is for AHR in P5 on soft tires. Should be able to make a move on Chris even before the S's. No, they go side by side, and looks like Jack has so much more grip and is ahead. Yes, but then also loses it. What is happening? This looked like a great move. Oh, grass. I don't know. He's weird spin, definitely. Well, James, so both James and Dan now had a spin uphill. We go. So need to have a look at those. In the meantime, so we have Little's also taking the lead. So we missed that with that spin. Little's ahead of James. Valkyrie P3. And that gap is opening up already. 0.7, 0.8 the gap between Little's GP for RTR and James for AHR. We go, but it's not over yet. We have 2 more laps for you for this exciting first race. So Chris, we want P4, DJ, P5, check down to P6. Brisbane in P7 and Kieran in a RTR sandwich. Kieran looking, no. Brisbane keeping his line in the middle of the road. But now, tire wear now is starting to kick in, of course. And Brisbane goes a little bit deep on the exit, a little bit of trust, might be losing some momentum. Uphill they go again. This could be the run for Kieran. Brisbane trying to defend that inside line. There's also Italia like waiting for the opportunity. And Brisbane defending that inside line. And Kieran looking around the outside again. There was a little bit of contact between the drivers midway through the turn. Not sure about that, to be honest. Tempo is running P10. Dan in P11 at the moment, and Bob in P12. So at the front we will be seeing the battle for the victory. And here we go. With 1 minute to go, drivers are coming round the final turn, and this will be the final lap of the race starting now. So Little's leading this, James in P2, Valkyrie P3, and oh, was a little bit of a lag spike going on here. Little's still in the lead. Valkyrie keeping his distance for now. James looking to find a way to get past. We see a little bit of understeer midway through the corner is happening. And Little's defending the inside line. James with the run. Can he brake later? Will they go side by side through the chicane? They don't. It is still like everyone's game to take that victory. Valkyrie, James or Little's. We are approaching the final couple of turns. Now James drifting it and loses that position eventually. Valkyrie got past. Now it's an RTR 1-2 at the moment. Little's leading. Valkyrie P2 and James with a massive run out of the chicane. So into the final turn we go. James looking around the outside. He's drifting it again. Does he have the space? Oh, he has to back out. So it will be Little's who will cross that line and take the victory by the looks. Valkyrie P2, James P3. Chris under pressure. Here comes DJ Brohawk with the run through the line. Can DJ pull it off? DJ got Chris by a tiniest margin. Check in P6. Chris Spain P7, Italia P8, Kieran in P9. Then it's Tempo defending that position, and then in P11. So pretty sure some of the drivers won't be happy with that result, but sometimes that's racing. Oh, so let's save that replay. Screenshot the results. And quick intermission. Updating the provisional results. A second. Oh, alright, and the fastest lap post. this gives us the provisional score RTR 67, AHR 49 after race number 1. Alright, so go to race number 2 settings. This will bring us Dragon Trail Seaside in the Jag F-Type Group 4. And have a look at the livery, so it clearly states Jag here. So less black for the livery this time. More white and gold, and some nice colors on that front for AHR. And have a look at Crispate, you're on camera. Don't crash, please. So the RTR version, mint green, black and white, and my plebby controls on the pad. Sorry for that, but we should get a quick idea about the liveries, I think. So go back to the TV camera for you, and then we will have a look at the drivers warming up and give me a little bit of time to drink. So we have also some driver swaps. We have the Tank Drow, who is replacing DJ Brohawk. And we also have Kevin Gran Turismo, who will be replacing Chris for RTR. So, and we could also make a guesstimate in chat how many deaths we will be seeing today through the chicane. It strikes early, yeah, doing warm-up, but maybe it's better doing the warm-up than doing qualifying and the actual race. It is. So again, the drivers, they are getting a 10-minute warm-up before we are then heading into a 5-minute quali warm-up, and then it will begin all over again with qualifying and 30 minutes of racing. That is they were 5 deaths per driver. Wow. I don't think we see that many, but I'd say 5 in total could be a number, maybe. I guess most of us were racing on GT on this combination and know about the chicane. And Yeah, little GP just rejoined the lobby, but I could see who. I feel also those curbs through the dash chicane. If you hit them on the wrong angle, you not die on the entry but on the exit very badly. So this could be also happening, of course. 7. So we are. It feels like an auction. 5, 6, 7. Ooh, has a higher bid. Yeah, so I would say that would be like collecting damage. This would count as a death. It doesn't matter if you're on the like entry part here, or then if you clip that curb and then smash it into the exit barrier, this would also count as a death in my opinion. So we have no, didn't want to do that. Oh, James with a death on the final. Or some other driver just spun it on that final turn. I mean, the chance will be high, yeah, on the opening lap when the cars are really close, that can't judge the entry correctly into the chicane and then might understeer. But I guess we will have to wait and see until we will be starting this race in a couple of minutes time. So far we have a 44.8 currently. That is the quickest time with fuel and tire wear, that is. And most of the drivers will be using the medium tires for this race because they used all their softs on the first one. So we had Chris definitely doing the no stop on mediums. So this leaves with Kevin. He can use 2 sets of softs or softs and mediums, so he has a bit more flexibility. Compared to most of the other drivers, that is. Plenty of spins on parts of the track where you normally wouldn't expect them, but hey, it's also like you have to now switch between that radical race to Group 4 at a different track, and oh boy, those curbs are like really tough if you get it wrong. Oh, alright. So now we have 5 minutes of qualifying practice. I'm expecting a close qualifying again, like we had in the first race. So I would, I don't know, I call 10 drivers within a second, top 6 within half a second. But yeah, could be different, but I feel like this will be again a very close matchup between the two teams and the drivers within the teams. And also, like, do we see some sandbagging? Now our drivers already flat out doing the warm-up. This looks okay, my message. So, post. And just 2 minutes away from the qualifying. So, get yourself prepared, grab a drink, grab some food, do a toilet break. You don't want to miss the action during the qualifying. Trust me, it will be a close one again. And with the provisional results, for now, we have a lead for RTR. So we had 67 for RTR versus 49 AHR. So AHR need to ideally win qualifying and then also have a race win to bring down that gap. Let's have a look. Everyone is ticked in. That's good. So we are ready to start the qualifying session. And here we go. Qualifying is starting now. RTR on track first for the first half of the session. The Valkyrie, Kevin, Brisbane, Tempo, Italia, and Littles. All 6 drivers are out on track, so we can prepare ourselves for this session. So Dragon Trail Seaside also a original track which was introduced with GT Sport, and I think it's one of those tracks that is mostly loved by the community because it has a nice flow, but also like one of those tracks with that high curbs and of course the famous death chicane that's will make many players feel like it's not my favorite track at all, but usually you see some close racing here. Oh, and Valkyrie already died on that qualifying session. So, but it's not the race yet, so it doesn't count for a race step. So this leaves us with Kevin being our onboard driver for the first flying lap. So coming round onto the start finish straight we go, revving that jack, and now heading into the first turn. So the small kink, you don't have to lift flat out. Now heavy braking, beginning of the curb, hooking those curbs. Don't run too wide on the exit, a little bit too wide. Those high curbs. True, then the kink right. It can be flat. It is flat in the check, braking somewhere around the grass on the left hand side into the 90-degree uphill we go. And now through the fun parts. The S's. Such a good combination if you get it right, if you carry so much speed. So clip that inside apex early on the throttle, carrying some great speed, and then flat out through those S's, using all of the track. Small kink again, and then heading into the heavy braking zone for the Polyphony Cruises corner. You see that big ship in the distance, and now approaching the first part of the chicane. That's the good one. Now the death chicane. It isn't flat out, right? It's a little lift, and then committed through the second part of it. Great run. This looks like a solid first back lap for Kevin. Braking start of the curb, down to second gear, upshift to third on the exit, and then don't run too wide on that curb. Just held it, and now cut that curb as much as you can. And then you cross the line and you see a 44.8. Alright, I think that's a nice little lap. Brisbane 44.7. Provisional P1 for Brisbane. Then Kevin, tempo. Italia. And we have Littles coming around, also like a small warm-up lap with damage. Oh, just repaired itself for now. Oh, and Valkyrie decided to just do one lap here. Okay. So bailed one of his laps. This leaves him with just one shot. No, Valkyrie. Oh, doesn't do qualifying, so okay. That's definitely interesting. And we can release AHR now onto the track. We'll stay with Littles because he showed some great pace during his CTC races so far. He's purple, nearly 3/10 now, coming through the chicane. Brisbane improved a little bit, but I think Littles is up to a new fastest lap. So Brisbane, Kevin, and Tempo top 3 at the moment. Italia up to P3 improves, and here comes Little's GP with that line. It looks to be like a quick lap. Just misses out on that pole position for now. Alright, so Brisbane, Littles, Kevin, Italia, and Tempo. Oh, let's go and watch AHR for their qualifying. So James leading the way. Kieran, Jack, Dan, Tank Pro, and Bob. So, James will be our chase cam driver. Approaches the final turn. So we see the 44.738 target time for pole position. Here we go. We're watching James now doing his thing, his magic. And just in case you're wondering what car we are running, have a look at the rear. It says AHR Jack. So cuts plenty of that inside. So far looks quick, and it seems to be purple already. Look at that, nearly 2/10 into the S's. Carries some great speed, and now good run. Should still be up for the next sector. Braking just before the 100. Good run. Kept the gap so far. Now you see little lift, and now little jump over that curb. Should have a solid run with that. So just needs a good final turn. Wide entry, cutting back to the apex, accelerating early on that curb. And could be a 44.6. We'll see. A 44.2. James, you madman. I think that's James already done, so this was probably one of the best laps. Not sure. So Tank Pro with a 43.9. You must be kidding me. Look at that. And AHR doing exactly what they need to do. Have a qualifying 1, 2, 3. So that's 6 points already for AHR before the race starts. So AHR closes the gap. And so we have 67 to 55. Now so a 12-point deficit for the race. So Tank Pro, James, Dan, the top 3. Then we have Brisbane, Littles, Kieran in P6 at the moment, Kevin P7, Italia in 8th, Tempo 9th, Jack in 10th, but I also think Jack should be able to improve. And it's a bit down, but a 45.4. Yeah, had a good run through that chicane, so he could be gaining, moving up the order a little bit. We'll stay with Jack for that final turn. Let's see if he can improve his lap time into the 44s, probably a 44.4, so top 4 for AHR at the moment. So if you was, let's see, nearly the top 10 within a second. Okay, that's about what I've was been calling, but top 5 within half a second, nope. But that's all just because of Tank Pro, you pleb. Why did you just put in such a quick lap time? Completely destroyed my prediction here. Look at that, with that nearly 3/10, we would have like the top 5 within half a second. But all right, well done, guys. Well done. Great qualifying performance for AHR moment. So Tank Pro, James, and Dan. Check. Oh, results. That's true. So it's been in 6, 7. 9, top 11, and back for it. It's qualifying done for you. So when the drivers are ready, we can start this right away. Yes. Race 2 is starting any second now. Tires are ready. I hope so. Everyone has 4 black tires fitted to their cars, so then we can get this moving. And here we go. Race 2 gets underway, 30 minutes again. Not sure what's happening here. So, alright, so we have all the information ready for you guys. Again, so tires here, lights are off, and away we go for the second race. 30 minutes again. AHR top 4 at the moment. Can they keep it like that after the first turn? So Littles with the channel, Tank Pro, Dan, James into the first turn. We go. A little bit of contact between AHR. Friendly fire all around. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Who was the victim out of it? Was it Tank Pro? Dan probably. What happened? We need to get like whoa. That was again unlucky race incidents for the first turn, but 4 AHR drivers heading into the first turn. People running wide again on the exit of the S's. So where to look first now, heading into the next heavy braking zone. Looking down the inside, Brisbane on James. Brisbane moves up a position, so that 1, 2, 3, 4 AHR is gone. It's Jack for AHR leading, and then we have Littles in between. Tank Pro up to P3 through the chicane we go. Brisbane P4, James P5. Tempo and Kevin for RTR 6 and 7 Bob versus versus a teammate and an RTR driver. That's Valkyrie going through. Kieran in P9. Let's sort things out. Bob intense again, and Italia at the back of the grid. So we see Jack is running the mediums, Tankro running the mediums, Littles on mediums as expected, Brisbane doing the same, James P5, so close from 2, 3, 4, 5. Kevin on the mediums as well, so I think then Kevin has to use the softs at some point. Tempo, Valkyrie, Kieran, Bob, Dan, and Italia. Check with that early gap, nearly 2 seconds up the road. And Tankro made some moves up to P2. Already Littles and Brisbane in 3 and 4. Brisbane blocking probably the attempt there for James, who has to go around the outside. Doesn't work on now, so through the chicane we go with James. Let's see, no drama. Littles touched the ball on the exit, so a small death. And also look at that, Kevin with a massive run through the chicane, gaining him so much time and overlap. Kevin using his indicator. Don't think this is on purpose. He's defending the inside line now. First braking zone. James is on the inside, is still there. They're going side by side through this portion of the track, and Kevin manages to stay ahead for now. Through the kick we go. James, the car gets really loose there. He missed it again with a great run out of the uphill right-hander. We go now into the S's. James with a massive run. Again, looking around the outside this time. Can he hold it? Kevin defending that position is still ahead. They go side by side into the chicane. We will back out. Is it possible to go side by side? It is. James is there. Look at that. Ooh. That was some intense and close racing between those drivers. Let's watch it again, shall we? Little's perspective. So you never see that. Usually side by side through the chicane and no one dies actually. So great racing. It's not quick, but yeah, look at that. So mid-pack battles are insane again. Look at that, 6-7 cars heading into the first braking zone, and I don't know where to look, to be honest. Valkyrie, James, Littles, Kieran, Kevin, Tempo. Dan is also back with the pack. Dan has to avoid it. It's too close. Valkyrie and James, P4 and 5. And we need to have a look at the front. Jack, 1.5 seconds. Tankro, he opened up the gap to Brisbane though, and also Tankro with the fastest lap of the race at the moment. So 1-2 for AHR, RTR running in P3 and P4 at the moment. And Valkyrie and James heading into the braking zone for the Polyphonic Cruises corner. James staying single file now through the chicane. It was fun, I think, side by side, but you don't want to do it every lap, I guess. Little's still there with James and a little gap to Kieran, just on the lower edge of that slipstream range with tempo right behind, and the next couple of cars with Dan and Kevin. So I think the promise we made for 2 close, exciting races, it's like didn't disappoint, right? So this is what we were hoping for, and the drivers are delivering. This is great racing, and unfortunately we have Bob again at the back, not involved in the battles at the moment. Oh, Tank Pro dropped down to P3, so maybe a death through the dash chicane, or I don't know. He lost a couple of seconds, so Brisbane in P2 for now. Jack with a 2.5 second lead. Tank Pro in P3, but under pressure here comes Valkyrie in P4 with a good run on Tank Pro. Bringing James and Little's GP with them. For another time we also have Dan versus Tempo, so Dan with that move, textbook move into the braking zone on Dragon Trail Seaside. Let's look at it once again. So yeah, nicely executed the move. And we move back to the TV camera where we see racing action. James and Valkyrie. James nearly running wide on the exit, but keeps that momentum. They go side by side over the line. Who has the run? It is James with the better exit. So staying in P4. Valkyrie in P5, Little's P6 at the moment. Gap between Jack and Brisbane 2.3, 2.4 seconds. So status quo for now. 10 minutes into this one. Tank Pro will be looking to catch back up to Brisbane again. He is Devo with life points at the moment, so we would have a tie if it would end like this. I don't know, really? It would be fitting to this matchup, to be totally honest, but yeah. So as it stands for now, we would see probably a tie between those 2 teams, but it's still like 20 minutes to go, plenty of racing still left for this one. And oh, someone nearly died. Oh no, just made a little bit of room for the teammates. So Littles and Valkyrie didn't want to interfere with each other. So now we have a little bit of a calm situation, if you can call it calm, with those gaps, but not in a like actual battle. Still like 6-7 tenths between the cars, so really close racing, but this gives us the time to sort the order from now. And position changes can happen at any time. So then running there with the comeback drive after the first lap incident. Tempo and Kevin 9. Ben Italia in P11 and Bob still running in P12. So check. Oh, James is past Valkyrie. So 1, 2, 3 for AHR. Tank Pro in P2, James P3, Valkyrie down to P4. No, Brisbane. Brisbane lost, I think. Brisbane was running P2. Hey, he's got a little bit of damage. Not sure. Probably we missed that. I'll just see if we can. So he already has damage at that point. So something must have. But look at this close train of cars again. Oh, and someone clipped the wall. Was it Valkyrie this time? And massive damage for Valkyrie. So this would count as a death through the chicane. Let's see. Oh yeah, boom! Then got tapped from behind as well to give him real damage. So time to pit. Now I think maybe a good idea. Jack with a comfortable nearly 4-second lead. James P2, Tank Pro P3. And again 2 AHR drivers heading into the first turn. Side by side it's Kieran versus Dan. So they shouldn't be fighting too hard. Kevin, Brisbane, Tempo, Italia, so the RTR gang. Bob and Valkyrie with the early pit stop after the damage. So we're approaching the halfway mark now in 90 seconds. Probably about time to think about the pit stops. 3.3 seconds. James and Tank. So James is past Tank Pro. There's still little CP right behind, but then there's also Kieran and Dan. And Little's also with some damage through the chicane. Yep, tapped the wall on the exit, collects some damage, will be under pressure. Oh, that's a 3-second penalty for Little's cutting that entry. Pretty sure that was too late. That was too late. Kevin is still running. He has to. I think he has to do at least 1, maybe 2 more laps because he has the soft tires available. Dan also. Check now also using the soft tires. And Little's, yeah, with that 3-second penalty, I saw it too late turning in. And also did like a massive fuel undercut compared to Tank Pro and James. Interesting. Valkyrie. Under pressure, Kieran. Need to get it sorted after the pit stop phase, which should be over within the next 3 to 5 minutes. I reckon so Dan could go longer. Kevin has to probably do another lap. Italia is on dead tires already, so I expect them to pit now. Dan in, Kevin in, Italia in. So I think Jack did a mistake. I was wondering why he was using the soft tires. So he used softs in the first race, so this was probably a costly mistake for Jack. So he wasn't supposed to run them, so he has to use the mediums again. This is like a booyah. Small mistakes, they happen, and you feel so bad for yourself, and also like in a team versus team event, it makes it difficult, really difficult. So after the pit stop, so we have the new classification with Tankro leading, Valkyrie in P2, James P3, Kieran P4, Brisbane 5th, right behind. Here's Dan, Kevin on those softs. They can use the softs definitely. Will there be an opportunity with more grip? Jack put on the soft tires, which he wasn't allowed to do, so he had to come back into the pits and switch to the medium. So what looked like to be a comfortable win for Jack has now turned out to be being last because of that. So that still could be worse. His teammates still leading this one. So nearly 2 seconds the gap from Tankro to Valkyrie. Another second to James. James not really under pressure. It's his teammate Kieran in P4. But then here we go. Brisbane, Kevin, Dan. This could be the next close battle. Teammate versus teammate again, heading into the first turn. Oh, a little bit of contact between the drivers. Dan in the middle of it. And then a nearly spin. It was Italia, I think, again. We have to look at it. Okay, it looks like a little bit of lag is in the lobby, and then also teammate versus teammate again into the first turn. Didn't end up too well, but still no one got damaged. Everyone is still racing. So Tankro, that gap is coming down, I think, a little bit. Valkyrie gained a couple of tenths in here. 1.6 the gap, and coming down. Valkyrie also on track to record a new fastest lap of the race. James also not too far behind, and Kieran and Brisbane also like lurking if something happens. So will this be the new fastest lap of the race? Could be. Valkyrie gained quite some time on Tankro. Oh, it just misses out. James with the fastest lap of the race, 44.9. It was even quicker. Kieran in P4, Brisbane in P5. And we have the next gap to Littles in P6 and Italia. Kevin is the only one on softs now. Maybe they can get the fastest lap of the race using the soft tires. Tempo in P9 at the moment. Bob in 10th with Dan 11 and Jack in P12 after that costly mistake putting on the wrong tire. So we will be, I don't know, fuming definitely. What's the score? We don't know it. We had someone, Davo, doing live scores, but I think Davo cannot keep up with all the racing action. So my feeling is that if it stands like this, RTR will win this by a small margin. But it's still, like we see, 8.5 minutes to go, and the death chicane is still with us for the rest of this race, and we saw a couple of near death definitely damage through the dash chicane. And I also think all 5 cars can win this race for now. So just 3 seconds between the top 5 drivers. So it's, don't know what to predict here. So for now, it looked like Tank Pro was the quickest driver, but that gap was over 2 seconds now, 0.7, 0.8. So Valkyrie definitely trying to reel him in, and James is also like right behind Valkyrie. James with that fastest lap of the race so far, 2 extra points for AHR, that is. Little gap to Kieran now, and also Brisbane lost a little bit, so maybe it's down to the top 3 to battle for the overall victory. And James with a massive run on Valkyrie through the SSV go, heading into the Polyphonic Cruises corner, the big braking zone. James not close enough. Valkyrie keeps that position but lost some time to Tank Pro. 1.4 again up for the AHR driver. A little bit of a breather now. First part of the chicane, no drama. Second part is the crucial thing. Don't hit that curb in the wrong angle. It was okay. I think from all of the top 3 drivers, basically no one gained or lost anything. Kieran in 4th, Brisbane 5. Let's run through the grid a little bit. Littles is running in P6. Kevin in P7 under soft, 44.8. Italia with the fastest lap, 44.86, so that also that fastest lap of the race. It's still, yeah, there we go. Kevin with the soft tires. I was expecting him to be one driver that might be like aiming to get the fastest lap with that strategy, and looks good for now, I think. So we were running with Italia, of course, Tempo, then P9, then Jack and Bob, the 3 AHR drivers, P10, 11, and 12 are under 2 seconds to get to Tempo though. So I think P9 is still in danger for RTR, with Dan and Jack catching this one. So Tank to open up that gap again, 2.3 seconds to Valkyrie. Jack wasn't close enough, but Kieran is back with them. So Valkyrie now has to defend rather than trying to attack. But I think those 2 extra points for the fastest lap will play nicely for Team RTR for the overall win. Oh, and there's the touch. James was too late on the brakes, doesn't go for the move, backs out, and we continue racing. We also have Kieran and we see Brisbane in the distance. So the battle for P2 it will be, by the looks, if Tank Pro keeps it clean. We should have this. But this battle, Valkyrie, James, Kieran and Brisbane, this is far from over. Just over 4 minutes to go, man. Time flies again. So let's look at the line James is taking through that kink. So aggressive. Oh, and Brisbane is off. You see it in the distance. Loses that position to his teammate though. It's Little's GP, so doesn't make a difference for RTR at the moment. So quick drink for me, and We continue. James still putting on all the pressure he can on Valkyrie. Next time, through the chicane we go. No drama for the drivers. Kevin is up to P5 with those soft tires. Little's in P6, Italia 7th, Brisbane P8. Tempo in 9th, but here comes Dan. 9-6 the gap. And where's Jack? Jack probably had an oopsie. Down to P12. It is for Jack, but Dan might have the run on tempo now. Just 2 minutes 30 remaining, so that's 2 more laps to go for this intense and insane race number 2. The entire match day really balanced, really close. You see battles everywhere throughout the grid, so we'll stay with this one. This could be crucial for AHR. Every position counts. That is closing. Under half a second the gap. Now with a good run uphill for tempo though, gained a couple of mountains into the braking zone. We go again and then close that gap. Not yet, so we have to go back to the front. So Tank Pro 3.5 seconds up the road. This should be his one. Valkyrie low on fuel, but it's the penultimate lap. James has plenty of fuel left, can attack point quarter gap. So James versus Valkyrie. I think we saw that in race 1 as well. Kevin is up to P4, I would say. No, it's Kevin versus Kieran. And also here comes Little's GP, both with the run on the AHR driver. Crucial moves towards the end of the race. It is the final lap now, and RTR making up some ground, getting some valid points for those positions, trying to secure their overall win now. And where to look. So I think if Valkyrie can keep P2, I think the victory should be safe for RTR. If James can move up that position, this would give AHR the possibility again for an overall victory. Wasn't close enough to go into the braking zone, so we see it's the final lap. Tank Pro 3 seconds up the road. Little's, Kevin and Kieran side by side. Kevin now with their tires side by side they go. Kieran and Kevin. Kevin staying ahead for now. And Valkyrie stayed ahead of James, who couldn't get close. So we have Tank Pro now coming round for the final turn. To the final turn, he crosses the line. He will win this one for Team AHR. Valkyrie picks up P2. He's not running out of fuel. James P3, Littles P4, Kevin in P5. So close between Kevin and Kieran. Italia in P7, Brisbane P8, Tempo P9, and then we have Dan, Jack, and Bob finishing 10, 11, and 12. So I think with that result, RTR should have won this. Those final couple of laps I think were crucial for that one. Or will be update scorecard for you. Let's see. Oh, then fine. Fastest yet. 6. Burn. 8. And 7. Bob. 12. 59 to 7 for PR, which would end up with a 126 to 106 at the moment for team RTR. That is before any post race incidents, that is. And all right, so we already have ended the game. So I think with that being said, say thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed those races. I did certainly, had a great time doing commentary. And yeah, they will have plenty of CTC racing action coming up. But this weekend, tomorrow, we have 2 more exciting races, and on Sunday as well. We had a parallel matchup today as well between Esports Race Salem and ART, the Amigos Racing team. Unfortunately, we didn't have a live stream, but there will be a replay podcast still coming for you. So, all right. Thank you all, and see you around soon. Bye.